Hello, good afternoon. A little bit late today, so my apologies. Today we are thinking about, or this week rather, we're thinking about how to keep calm, how to help our children manage when they are losing their calm and they are losing their control. And today I want to have a think about actually how we kind of intercept that and how we help them regain control. And it's not always that easy, is it? Let's be honest. You know, the things that I'm talking about today, things I've been talking about all week really, apply across all of the ages. And one thing that I want to really think about, I was thinking, you know, we were thinking yesterday about how to look after ourselves and how we need to make sure that we are keeping ourselves emotionally healthy. You know, thinking about good sleep hygiene and exercise, and making sure that we've got space, which I know is difficult under current circumstances. But everything that I'm talking about this week, and when I'm talking about children this week, but all of these principles apply to family life. They apply to all of our relationships, and understanding our own triggers, understanding how we respond to either our children or our partners or our you know, friends or colleagues or whatever, is what our children are learning from us, but it's also important to recognise that we are much better at managing difficult situations when we are in a good emotional space. And being in a good emotional space means making sure that we are not tired. We're not making sure that we're not tired, because we can't, you know, we're all tired, let's be honest, but making sure that we are doing our best to make sure that we are getting enough sleep as possible, as enough exercise, enough space as possible, because that all fits into how we react and how we respond to certain situations. And that's what we're talking about here. We're talking about family life. We're not just talking about how we respond to our children, but we're talking about the energy that is created within the home in general. Okay. So when we are looking at our children, when we are observing our children, and we are seeing that they are losing control, that they are getting angry, they are getting frustrated, us going in, matching their behaviour isn't going to help. It's just, I don't see any beneficial argument for shouting at a child who is shouting. I don't see any benefit to shouting at a partner who is shouting. Like it you know, that in the heat of the moment, it's easy to do. I mean, I'm not going to say like I never do it. I do it. I'll never put myself on a pedestal and say I'm perfect. I get it. I'm just saying it's not helpful. And where we can catch ourselves, where we can be self-aware and we can catch ourselves before it escalates to that point, that is helpful. That is far more helpful than going in and matching that. And I do this with my couple within my couple work, where we're working with somebody who's got anger management issues, and I equally do it with adults who have got anxiety as well, because you can use the same barometer for anger management and anxiety management. But keeping it to the children, if we've got a child who is losing control, then we need to be able to recognise in ourselves, before we get angry, we need to be able to go in and intercept and help them to calm down before we are also at a point of anger and frustration. Because anger and frustration together is a volatile combination. We want to be modelling to our children how to calm themselves down. And so us being able to do that within ourselves is important, and us being able to intercept their behaviour before it gets out of control is also important. Now, one thing that I learned, I don't know if you guys remember, there was a program on many years ago, and it was something that I learned, gosh, probably about 20 years ago now, if I'm completely honest, maybe not quite as long ago as that. It was a program called House of Tiny Tearaways. And I always remember learning on there that as adults, we can come into a situation and we can respond to a situation based on what we see in that moment. But what we did see in the House of Tiny Tearaways, but we don't see as parents, is what leads up to that situation, what leads up to that either explosive behaviour or that tantrum that's coming. And so we can ask our children, instead of just going in and bollocking them, we can go in and actually reason with them and say, what has happened? Explain to me what has happened. Tell me so that I can help you. Now, that is a fantastic way to intercept those horrible feelings, because you are not only hearing them, you're not only getting them to explain to you what has gone on, you're also giving them an opportunity. It might not necessarily happen, but you're also giving them an opportunity to de-escalate, and that is what we want. So you see the difference between going in and just yelling, and actually just going in and saying, tell me what is going on. Tell me what has happened. Why are you feeling angry? And then giving them the opportunity to explain it to you so that you can help them. And actually ask them, how are you feeling? Like, obviously I can see that you're feeling angry, but what else is going on for you? Tell me what is going on. It just gives them space to be able to express what's going on, express their frustration, and then you can help them to either problem solve it, resolve it, or step away from it until the situation is calm. Now, there's a great one as well for siblings, because if you've got siblings who are squabbling, like I said, it's so easy to go in and just deal with what you see happening there and then. But the reality is that if you're going in on a situation with two children, you're only going in on that moment, and there's been a whole lead up to that situation that you've got no idea about. So going in and telling one of them off when you've got no idea how that interaction has played out is not only unhelpful, but is actually unfair. And that's when you can get into kind of like scapegoating, when you've got one child that's always, usually the older child, is always labelled as being the provoker or the naughty one. But you don't know what actually the dynamic is when you're not there. You might think that you have a good idea, but in my experience, you know, there's always an interesting dynamic that goes on there. So there you are. That's my share for today. I hope you found that helpful. Please do let me know if you've got any comments. I'd really do like to read your comments so that I can respond. So please do put your comments in the box below, or come over to the Happy and Fulfilled page if you want to join in on a more in-depth conversation with us. And tomorrow our webinar is on toxic relationships, so that's going to be a nice juicy one. I'll be back here to talk about step 4 of how to help your child keep calm tomorrow. I'm not sure what time, but tomorrow sometime. Okay. Oh, lovely. That's great. Thank you so much. I'm not going to mention your name because this gets shared out to a couple of other groups, so I won't mention your name, but thank you very much for your comment. Greatly appreciated. Take care. Bye.